Chris. She mentioned when she was washing him. All good, right? Now you start using your hands. She felt that at times he was kind of like redirecting or pushing the hands away from his body. Okay? And I asked him about it, and he said, well, I feel like I kind of need to get the hand off. Was that kind of what
Something
you said?
like that, yeah.
Felt like I needed to do that.
Like my body motion wasn't enough, is what
Right.
I'm feeling.
So, a lot of people run up, well, everyone runs up against this kind of feeling at some point. It's like, well, clearly my body can't really get out of the way. So I need to, even though they're saying not to push, not to redirect, well, I mean, obviously you have to do that a little. I sometimes feel them doing that a little, so it must be right. Something like that, right?
Pretty
Trust
much.
me, I felt plenty of time, well, Al was kind of pushing there, so I should be pushing too. Something like that, okay? But the fact is now, you wash my body. Right, I put my hands in between. Make it hard for me. Do you feel any pushing or redirection? That's the idea. So the problem is not, oh, well, body movement is insufficient, therefore I need to push. No, the problem is, well, I guess I need to make my body movement better so that I don't have any temptation to push anymore.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Can you say that one more time, please?
The problem is not, oh, well, because body motion is insufficient, I need to push, no matter what the book says or whatever, no matter what John says. The problem is actually me, if I'm Chris.
Right.
Or me in reality. My body motion is not always sufficient to get out of the way, so I better work on that body motion so that I am no longer tempted to push, so that I'm better able just to stick. Simply because at the end of the day, any amount of pushiness, redirection, that kind of stuff you put into it is reducing your ability to, in that split second when a 300-pound bruiser is crashing down on you, to be unavailable to him, okay? Any amount of force or resistance you put into anything you're doing is potentially reducing your ability to deal with greater, stronger, faster, more massive forces, okay? And it doesn't always have to be a huge bruiser. It could just be like some little dude over there that I just can't get out of the way of quick enough. Yeah, question?
No question, but something you brought to me when we were flowing that makes sense is not to focus on the hand, because maybe that's part of it too, right? Like taking all focus and putting 100% on the hand versus just moving. Maybe that'll take away from the blocking or redirecting.
That's exactly right. Really, not the only time, but generally when we feel like we want to do the wrong thing, stay here, push it. Generally when we feel like we need to push away is when we're somehow scared of this or mentally, emotionally attached to it. If our conscious mind is completely consumed with what our feet are doing, relax, stop pushing, don't anticipate. All in the feet. This is just, you're just sticking here. Relax the shoulder.
I feel like I'm exposing
Better.
myself a lot, though. See, right? Like anytime you
And
can punch me in the chin, anytime, though. Like all around
Can I?
here? Yeah, sure. You can just like,
If you're constantly moving with it.
I don't know.
And here's part of the thing. Part of the problem with learning Gaiakas for a lot of people is that it requires a bit of faith at times and trust in your ability. Actually, if you look at Al's latest blog thingy
Fear.
about fear, I think it's awesome, primarily because of the quotes from Tim. One of the quotes from Tim was, you ever notice how when John moves in, he seems to move in with reckless abandon? He looks completely exposed. His body looks completely open. And John will. He'll be like this. And he won't be like moving behind the guard per se. He'll just be like, moving completely there. It looks like whoever he's training with, sometimes it looks like they actually punch him in the chin, where it's actually his beard, right? It looks like he's totally open. But that's the key, because his sensitivity is such, he knows exactly where he is, and that's that. Because here's the thing. Feeling like I'm not open because I have a hand here is an illusion. Because if I'm like this, and Chris is strong, boom, I am just as open as if I had nothing there.
Yeah.
Get this? So the way that we stay unavailable is not by the conventional, here would be the ultimate conventional, blocking everything off. Why doesn't this work without gloves? A, B,
What? What is
right? All this stuff. Okay, even like, oh, I'm moving behind the guard. Well, if it's in front of my face and he still is on balance or something, well, either that or just knock the shit into my face, right?
Yeah.
So that in and of itself, having like a hand on it, having a hand between that and the body doesn't necessarily constitute safety.
Right.
What does constitute safety is whatever Chris does, unavailable to his body, right? Based on the position of our bodies, based on my balance, based on my looseness. Even if it seems like, oh, this is right there, hit me with that now. No, I'm still free to move, right? Having that faith in my body to move. Again, this is kind of getting into like the more higher level esoteric stuff. The best way to be unavailable, just do that first, right? Or as soon as possible and keep doing that, okay? Because none of us are perfect, so I'm not saying you need to be perfect to like keep yourself safe here. But does that make sense in terms of replacing that kind of mental dependence on pushing or blocking or keeping stuff away from us? It was one of the things I mentioned in the beginning of class, right? Don't be attached to this space that you're in and have to like ward off all borders at all costs, right? It's not like this is where I am and whatever comes in I need to send away, okay? Because that's not gonna be possible if a bigger fucking ship is sailing my way, okay? But if because I have the balance to move wherever I need to and do good stuff, and I feel that coming in, that's good, right? I might look like I'm available, but if I'm actually sticking with his intent, right? Chris is not really heavier than I am, but do you feel me like shoving you away when you're moving?
No, not at all.
Okay, except for right there.
There's no pressure until, yeah, it's in my ribs.
Oh.
No, it's fine. It's his ribs.
I'm
I'm good.
Trigger point there.
I'm trying to-
No, I'm just gonna talk the rest of the day. You guys never try to do it. All right, so I'm just kidding. I'm gonna try it again. Okay, so do you guys want to try just the washing thing again, or go right to contact flow?
Yeah, let's do the washing the body again.
All right, rotate part.